Hi friends, my name is Jess and welcome back to Books Past Bedtime. Today we are going to be doing one of my favorite videos, and I do this about every 3 months, and that is talking about some of the upcoming releases that I am excited for. So these books that I'm going to talk about today come out in either April, May, or June, and I have quite an extensive list. I had a lot of trouble narrowing it down because there's a lot of great books coming out soon. So let's just jump right into it and start talking about these exciting upcoming releases. So the first book that I want to share is Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by 𝗬𝗎 Hitchcock. This book comes out April 1st, 2021, and it is a YA short story collection. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I do know that this short story collection weaves together a bunch of stories that all show how people are interconnected, and I have previously read 𝗬𝗎 Hitchcock's book, The Smell of Other People's Houses, and I absolutely love it. One of the best parts of that book was its setting. It was set in Alaska, and I know some of the stories in this collection are also set in Alaska, as well as in the American West, and I'm very excited to get to this one. I think it sounds really cool, and I already know I love this author, so I definitely would recommend. Next, I want to talk about The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. This book comes out April 6th, 2021, and is a YA fantasy. It follows our main character Rufus, who has the ability to see into the future, and when he sees the untimely death of his brother, his life is turned upside down. This book sounds really touching and like an emotional ride, and I'm ready for it. I cannot wait to pick this one up. Next, I want to talk about House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This book also comes out April 6th, 2021, and is another YA fantasy book. The cover of this one especially gives me Rory Power vibes, and also the description gives me Rory Power vibes. So if you like Rory Power, Amanda, I think you would like this book. But basically this story follows our main character Iris, and she's always been a little bit strange. There was something that happened to her and her sisters when they were younger that left them forever scarred, but they don't really remember exactly what occurred. But then when her older sister goes missing, she realizes that it is probably connected to what happened in their past, and she has to figure out what actually happened in their past in order to find her sister and figure out what happened to her. Next, of course, I have to mention Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. This book comes out April 13th, 2021, and is an adult romance. This is actually going to be the book for the Sugar and Spice Book Club next month, and I'm going to be the featured guest, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. I loved The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. It was one of my favorite books of 2020, so I cannot wait for this one either. Basically, this romance takes place at a retirement community, and it is between like the manager of the retirement community and this rich kid who is like the property developer's son, who is hired by this old rich lady to be like her personal assistant. They fall in love. He's hot and tattooed, so I love a tattooed man. I love a tattooed person, period. So I always like that. But I'm very excited for this one. It sounds like a lot of fun, and Sally Thorne just has the best banter, and I cannot wait for this book. I'm so excited. Next, I want to mention The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. This book comes out April 20th and is a YA mystery. This book basically follows this young girl whose father was a detective, and he was investigating the disappearances of 13 young girls when he goes missing himself. And so she returns to her hometown to kind of pick up the trail and figure out what happened to her father, as well as hopefully what happened to these 13 young girls who are also missing. Next, I want to mention In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. This is a YA historical queer romance, I believe, and it follows a young prince who must rely on a mysterious stranger to help him out after he gets kidnapped on his coming of age tour. This definitely gives me like a Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue vibes, but without like the problematic author, you know? Plus pirates. I also got this on NetGalley, and I'm so excited. I'm probably going to do a reading vlog soon of some of the books that I have on NetGalley, and this is going to be one of them. I can't wait to pick it up. I mean, you know, I love me a queer romance, so very excited for that. Next, I want to talk about The Key to You and Me by J. Robin Brown. This book also comes out on April 20th and is a YA contemporary. This book follows our main character Piper, who is spending the summer with her grandmother. She is a horseback rider, so she is training for that, but she doesn't know how to drive because she's gay. That was a stupid joke. Okay, anyway, but then her grandmother forces her to take driving lessons from this girl in town, and I think they might have a romance. We're excited. Next, this is one of my most anticipated books on this list, and that is She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. This book also comes out on April 20th and is a YA contemporary, and it has like the best tropes in it. It has fake dating trope, it has enemies to lovers trope. It is between these two girls, one's a basketball player, one's a cheerleader. They hate each other's guts, but then they get in a car accident and have to start carpooling to high school together. other, and then they like strike up a fake dating bargain. This book sounds like perfection. I'm so excited. I loved Kelly Quinlan's release last year, Late to the Party, so I'm very excited for this one. It sounds literally right up my alley and my perfect book. I am also anticipating Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. I've had a complicated relationship with Becky Albertalli books in the past, but this one does sound really good. It also comes out April 20th and is another YA contemporary. It follows our two main characters, Kate and Anderson, who are best friends. They are so close that they even have a crush on the same boy, but when that boy moves to their school, things start getting a little heated between them as they are competing for his attentions, and a potentially friendship-ruining love triangle ensues. This book sounds queer and fun, and I cannot wait to pick it up. Next, I want to talk about Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart. This book also comes out April 20th. April 20th is a big release day, apparently, and it is a Jamaican-inspired YA fantasy, and it is about two enemy witches who take on an alliance to defeat a mutual enemy, and I think it's queer, and I think it's sapphic, and they fall in love. And look at this freaking cover. It's one of the most beautiful covers I've seen recently. I'm very excited to pick this one up. Oh, it looks so good. Next, I want to talk about The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Hay. This one comes out on May 4th and is a YA sci-fi. It follows our two main characters, C, who wakes up on an abandoned island and has no idea how she got there, and also Casey, who is given this opportunity to move to this new city where it is very eco-friendly. Only people who believe in environmental preservation are allowed to live there, and she's tasked with like using science to help humanity. I don't really know how they're connected. The description is very difficult to understand like what's going on, but this cover is beautiful, and I've heard a lot of like good positive buzz about this book, so I'm very interested in checking it out. Next, I'm excited for All Kinds of Other by James Cy. This book comes out on May 4th and is a YA contemporary. The tagline for this book is love story between two boys, one cis and one trans, who have been girding their hearts to protect themselves until their feelings for each other give them a reason to stand up for their fears. This book sounds really cute, and I also love the cover, and I'm very excited for this one. I mean, it's queer. Why would it not be on this list, honestly? Next, Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler. I also have this one on NetGalley, so we'll also be featured in that vlog. I'm very excited. This one sounds so good. It comes out on May 11th and is a YA contemporary, and it is about our main character, Laura. She has everything she could have ever wanted, a fun group of friends, a pretty cool job, and the boyfriend of her dreams, Chase. But if she's finally found the guy, why can't she stop thinking about the girl? We love some bisexual representation, so I'm very ready for this one. I also love this cover. Oh, covers of these YAs are so freaking good. I don't even know what it is. I love it. Let's keep it up. Next, I'm interested in People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read last year, and it wasn't my favorite. I didn't love it quite as much as other people did, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot, and definitely enough to pick up Emily Henry's newest release. It comes out on May 11th and is an adult romance. This book follows this travel writer, and her best friend have kind of had a little bit of drama recently, so she plans a trip with him to try and win him back because she just might be in love with him. This one sounds cute and fun. I love the aspect of her like being a travel writer. I think that sounds so cool, so I am very excited to pick this one up. Next, I want to talk about May the Best Man Win by Z.R. Eller. This book comes out on May 18th and is a YA contemporary. It follows our main character Jeremy, who is cheer captain and student body president, and he comes out as trans his senior year of high school, but he does not want to let that ruin his experience, and so he enters a throwdown battle for homecoming king with the boy he dumped last summer. This is another cute cover. We love pastel queer realness, so I'm so excited for this one. I think I also have this one on NetGalley, so it might be in that reading vlog. Look out for that. Next, Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan. This book comes out on May 18th and is a YA contemporary, and it is about an openly gay track star who falls in love with a closeted bisexual beauty queen who also loves fixing up cars. I love queer women. This is amazing. I'm so excited for this book. Switching gears a little bit, I am also excited for Local Women Missing by 𝗵𝗂𝗽𝗍. This comes out on May 18th and is an adult thriller, and it is centered in this town where multiple local girls go missing, but then 11 years later, Delilah, one of the girls who originally went missing, returns to the town. Everybody really wants to know what happened, but they might not be ready for the truth. This sounds really good. I love like a kidnapping storyline, so I'm very excited for this thriller. Cannot wait. Next, Hazel Bly in the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. Oh my god, Ashley Herring Blake writes the best queer middle grades ever. Like, she writes just the best books ever. If you know me, you know I am so obsessed with Ivy Aberdeen, Sunny St. James. They are two of my all-time favorite books. Like, they're not even like two of my all-time favorite middle grade books. They are just two of my all-time favorite books, period. I love them both so much. They are so important to me. And so I'm so excited for Ashley Herring-Blake's newest middle grade release that's coming out later this year. It is coming out on May 25th. It could not be soon enough. I'm so excited. So basically, this book obviously follows our main character Hazel, and at the beginning of the book, Hazel's mother dies, and her and her family, after this happens, move to this town in Maine, and they start reconnecting with childhood friends. This family friend has a young daughter named Lemon who Hazel connects with and befriends, and Lemon is obsessed with these mermaid myths that permeate the town, and she gets Hazel on board, and they spend the summer trying to find this mermaid. This sounds so cute, and I just love Ashley Herring-Blake. She could do no wrong in my eyes, so I know I'm gonna love this book, and I cannot wait for it to come out. The next book I'm excited for is Hanny and Ish's Guide to Fake Dating by 𝗕𝗵𝗱. This book comes out on May 25th and is another YA contemporary, and it has like the cutest cover. These sapphic queer covers just kill me. I know I already said that, but I can't. This book follows our two main characters. One is Hanny, and she is like the popular girl, but when she comes out to her friends as bisexual, they really invalidate her identity and don't believe that she's bisexual because she's only ever dated guys. She decides to form a pact with Issue, who her friends hate, and they start fake dating to prove that she is bisexual. And this is mutually beneficial as Issue gets something out of the relationship as well, but as these things go, they start to fall for one another. And this book just sounds so cute and fun, and I'm very excited to pick it up once it comes out. Okay, next, the book that we're all most excited for is One Last Stop by 𝗕cie McQuiston. This book comes out on June 1st and is a new adult romance. 𝗕cie McQuiston is obviously the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue, and that was one of my favorite books. I think it was my absolute favorite book of 2019. I love that book so freaking much. It is so good and so cute. Oh, the best. So this book follows our main character August, who is a little bit discouraged by her life in New York City, but then she starts crushing on this girl who is always on the subway during her commute to work. And things get a little bit more complicated when August realizes that her crush is displaced in time and actually from the 1970s, and she has to help her figure out how to get back. This sounds so cute. A sapphic 𝗕cie McQuiston romance. I am ready. Give it to me now, please. Next, I'm excited for The Ghost's We Keep by Mason Deaver. This also comes out on June 1st and is another YA contemporary. This book is about our main character Liam, whose brother Ethan is killed in a tragic car accident. After this happens, Liam has to figure out how to face the world alone. He feels increasingly isolated from his friends and those around him, but then he forms a relationship with Ethan's best friend Marcus, and Marcus is like the only one that knows what Liam is going through, so they form this connection and help each other face the world. I have enjoyed Mason Deaver's books in the past. I Wish You the Best was really good, and so I'm very excited to pick this one up as well and see where their writing goes. I will also be picking up Trouble Girls by Julia Lynn Rubin. This book comes out on June 1st and is another YA contemporary. It follows best friends Trixie and Lux, who are going on a weekend getaway road trip, but a single night of violence derails their entire trip, and then they become fugitives on the run from the law. And so this trip forever changes the course of their lives. And this book sounds so good. What the heck? I'm very excited to pick this one up. I cannot wait. I think it deals with some hard-hitting issues like sexual violence and that kind of deal, so definitely be wary of the trigger warnings, but I think it sounds really good and I cannot wait to pick it up. I am also very interested in The Darkness Outside by Eliot Schrafer. This book also comes out on June 1st and is a YA sci-fi. I'm not quite sure what this is about, but I think one of our main characters, his sister is like on another planet and she sends out a distress signal, and Earth is busy dealing with some other shit, so they can't send a rescue mission. So these two boys who hate each other take this spaceship to go rescue this guy's sister. I don't think that's a very good explanation of what this book is, but it's queer and it's got some sci-fi elements, so I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. Next, along with everybody else, I will definitely be picking up Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book comes out also on June 1st and is an adult historical fiction book, I think. It takes place in the 1980s, so it's not super historical, but it's a little bit historical. And it basically follows four famous siblings who all are throwing this epic party to celebrate the end of summer. This book takes place over the course of 24 hours, and over those 24 hours, all four of the siblings' lives will be drastically different. And I wasn't quite sure what this was about when I was seeing it floating around. I kind of thought maybe it was more in the vein of Taylor Jenkins Reid's older books, very like romance heavy, but this one actually sounds really good and I'm very excited to pick it up, and I think I will love it. Hopefully I love it as much as I love Daisy Jones, because I love Daisy Jones. I will also be picking up 𝗕cie is salt and so am I by Cassandra Hart. This book comes out on June 8th and is a YA contemporary, perhaps magical realism book. I was really drawn to this one because its descriptions of its setting. I think it's going to have a very beautiful setting. It's set on this coastal town that is one hurricane away from falling into the sea, and there is a very devastating storm, and we follow the impacts of that storm on our three main characters. Harlow is really determined to save her town. Elliot fixes his problems by running away from them, and his twin brother Tommy goes out for a swim that he doesn't plan to survive. This book sounds very hard-hitting, but also like it will have a very whimsical writing style and, like I said, setting. So I'm very interested in this one and think this sounds like something I would definitely enjoy. I am also planning to pick up Ace of Spades on June 10th. This is actually a YA thriller with some dark academia aspects to it that sounds really, really good. It is set at a private academy with a Gossip Girl-esque character who is blackmailing our two main characters for some unknown reason. We don't know how they're connected or why they're being blackmailed, but I think that this thriller also dives into the idea of like institutionalized racism and the effects of that. So this book sounds really good, really interesting, and I cannot wait to check it out. And finally, I would really like to check out Indestructible Object by Mary McCoy. This book comes out on June 15th and is a YA contemporary. It follows our main character Lee, whose boyfriend breaks up with her on their live podcast, and after that terrible event occurs, she throws herself into creating a new podcast called Indestructible Object, where her and her friends investigate whether or not love actually exists. But she might learn that it does as she starts to fall for her new friend Risa. This book also has bisexual representation, and I'm very excited to pick this one up, and I think it's going to be really good. And I love a podcast element, so hopefully they release an audiobook. Alright, that is my list of 27 books that I am very excited about that are coming out over the next couple of months. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some new books to add to your TBR. Let me know which of these books sounds the best to you and that you are most excited for, or let me know if there are any new releases coming up that I missed that you cannot wait for. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. And also don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!